Hello there my friends, last week we finished working on our 1 to 72nd scale Chieftain Mark V, and continuing the theme of taking a break from Russian vehicles, today I purchased my favorite Japanese tank. This is Chinu Kai from IBG models in 1 to 72nd scale, and I was really excited for this kit for a very long time, and I just couldn't get my hands on it, but today finally I purchased it, so I think we're gonna make a little diorama for it and something interesting, and just let's get right into building it. So first I started by assembling the running gear of the tank. Now thankfully the running gear is molded as one piece, and all you need to do is clean up a few wheels and glue them in from the inside. Now this running gear is made really nicely. It's greatly detailed and looks really nice, so I'm really happy that it was done this way, like a trumpeter kit would. Then the lower hull is an average bathtub hull, so all you need to do is add some additional details. Here you can see me adding the coil springs that hold the bogies. It has a lot of interesting details that Chieftain pointed out in his Horo video that are actually replicated in this model, which is actually quite cool. So here you can see I added two pairs of coil springs, and in the middle I will add a cover. The upper hull fits the on the model really well. It just needed some enlarging for the pins, which is just because of the production defect, nothing bad with the model itself. And then the tracks are easily dry fittable on the model, which is great because we will be able to remove them for painting. Moving on with the assembly, I start by gluing on the upper front plate. This is very easy, you just slot this big piece on. Around the edges of this piece I later added some texture to represent flame cuts and also welds, because I noticed it in some reference pictures. Next comes the little tiny machine gun on the front. Now this was a little fiddlier to add, but it wasn't nothing bad, so I just glued it on with some model cement and then I nudged it into place with my finger. Then the headlights came next. These were also really easy to glue onto the model. They had really nice locating pins. The only problem is that they are very tiny and very round, so they really enjoy flying off, and I lost one of them for like 30 minutes before I found it again, so that made me panic quite a lot. The part that locks the turret in the place is actually separate, and you need to glue it onto the hull, which is, I don't understand why it was done this way. It was kind of annoying to get in and didn't fit perfectly, but that can very much so be more or less my fault, not the fault of the mold or the design of the kit. Then I started adding some of the additional details onto the hull, like for example these tools on the side. You don't really get proper locating pins for this, so you just have to eyeball them. Here you can see me adding the texture around the engine deck as well. There would be a weld here, probably, I think, not a flame cut, but it's supposed to represent those textures, not replicate them, because in this tiny scale Then you can see me adding the mufflers. These also had kind of not the best locating pins, so they would just jump around a little bit, but it was nothing too terrible. With that, the lower hull was finished and I started working on the turret. First you need to glue on the commander's cupola. This has a T-shaped sprue gate inside of it, so this needed to be cut out and then glued onto the model. The hatches are made out of two parts and you can leave them opened if you want. There is actually a commander. Then you can see me here adding more of this texture. It won't be the most visible at the end on this model, as if it... but it will be very nicely visible once we paint it and highlight it next week. So if you'd like to see that, stick around till the next week and I will show you how nice the textures look once they are painted. Then I started adding the fume extractors on the mantlet area. These have a particular way they have to go in so they don't stick out, so be careful with that. And then I just added the gun and the model was more or less finished. So I thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope this more of a informative video and more of a how would I call it, a review for a kit was nice for you. This isn't usually what I do because I usually modify my models a lot, but this time I only added some really nice textures and this model was really easy to build, so I thought why not take you through the entire process and give you my thoughts. So if you would like to buy this model, I definitely recommend it. It's amazing, everything fits together really nicely. It's really nicely detailed, it's cheap as well and it's a unique vehicle, so I definitely recommend it. If you'd like to see me paint it next week, I will try to create post shading on this model for the first time, so if you'd like to see that, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification button so you can get notified about the video. If you like the video, please give it a like, perhaps a comment. If you'd like to support me financially, my Patreon and my Amazon wishlist is down in the description. Thank you for watching it again and I will see you next time, next week.